your morning sports report, TribLIVE Radio. Ken Laird, Guy Junker. Should be brought to you by Invisible Offense brand, but we're brought to you by Invisible Fence brand, Guy. Another 2-1 Rangers win. This went in overtime last night.
I predict tomorrow night's final will be 2-1.
You're going out on a limb there, eh? Well, they weren't swept. You're allowed to lose 3 of these. You want to bring out all the cliches?
One 5-minute stretch where Crosby got hot is the only thing that's keeping this from being over right now. That's it.
And Fleury's played well in the series, but not well enough to pitch a shutout, and that's what he needed to do last night to win.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, both goals were kind of garbage. I mean, he floundering around, pucks bouncing around in the crease, and then when the puck was bouncing around in the crease near the end of regulation in the final minute, the Penguins couldn't get it past Lundqvist. And the 2 times that the Rangers got in that club, and they played well. I mean, they got to the loose pucks, Ken. I mean, I was you take a look at the little things that in a game, it was like every single little battle, I thought, through the first period they won. The second period, the momentum did start to shift, but they were still winning little battles. I just thought they played I think they played better than even they did in the game that they won, other than they didn't score. But it's an ongoing theme. Nothing has changed in the playoffs. It's the same thing that's went on through the month of March and much of the whole second half of the season. So nobody should be surprised.
And maybe the ultimate irony for a team that has Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin 3 postseasons in a row where they can't score. I mean, one was the conference finals against the Bruins. Last year it was really the last 3 games against the Rangers. This has been start to finish, and as you said, we could see this one coming a mile away. But where is the offense? How do they generate the offense? And
it's one thing against Tampa Bay when Crosby and Malkin are both hurt, and even the year against Boston, Boston was really playing well at that point, but you had a couple of series where you scored and you won. I mean, it all went south there. And last year they scored goals against Columbus. Malkin had a hat trick in the Columbus series last year. But the Rangers are great. They have very good defense and great goaltending, so that makes them tough to beat that way. But but still, no matter, I can't think of another team in the league that would have played the Rangers 5 games and scored 4 goals. I'm going back to Game 7 last year. That's 4 straight 2-1 losses.
Well, and the other irony is, of course, the coach has sort of wanted to play this way. I don't know if Mike Johnston,
even last night looking ahead, he said, I don't want to harp on the fact that we need more offense because I don't want us to stop.
Comment.
You can't win a game scoring 1 goal. You have to harp on. I think you got to go do everything you can to score goals right now. Forget defense. It hasn't worked.
Right. They've tried to win games 2-1 themselves, but they've failed 3 times. And what's any evidence that it's going to change? I mean, you're outgunned in the series. I can understand how he wants to play it a little close to the vest and bog it down a little bit. But you do have Crosby and Malkin, and then in the end, those guys are going to need to score for you.
What good is Malkin? What has he done in a month?
Yeah,
nothing.
Well, maybe he is legitimately hurt.
If he is, then tell us he's legitimately hurt. And if he's not, then no one has said he's legitimately hurt other than Rob, and Malkin says he's 85%. Well, if he really is 85 or 90%, that's still better than 85 or 90% of the guys in the league.
The other part of this is, of course, the way they finished the regular season, Guy, and this is what you get when you lose 11-14, right? You play Henrik Lundqvist and the President's Trophy Rangers. So, obviously, some props due to New York. They're good. And they clearly had a counterpunch in the second period the Penguins couldn't handle, right?
If there's a part of the game that I would like to have back, though, it wasn't really the second period. It's the last 10 minutes of the first. They had all the momentum. They had the 1-0 lead. At one point, they're out shooting them 6-0. And after they got their power play, the Penguins had a power play. I think the shots were 6-zip after that. The last 10 minutes of the first period, the Rangers had 2 first-period shots. I mean, that was dominated. You had to come out of the first period with a second goal, I think, or more. And I think they played well enough to get that. And if you come out, I think it's a completely different game then. At no point have you ever really made the – when did the Rangers probably play their worst? Or the only time they've been down 2 goals in the series when it was 3-1. They did get a power play goal to get back in it, but when they were 5-on-5 after that, they started to have to press and scramble. You got to get them out of their comfort zone, and we've been playing for over a week now, and they haven't really done that.
Well, you've got the boxing hat on today. If you were to judge these 12 periods, 12-plus periods, maybe 2 to Pittsburgh's side of the ledger? It's like 10-2 Rangers.
In periods?
Periods?
No, I think the Penguins have had better. I'll give them
maybe a couple pushes.
I'll give them the first period last night. I'll give them the 4 in-between ones in New York, all but the first and last.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I give them 6, man. And I think the third period last night was a wash. Nah.
I want you to be my judge.
They got outplayed in the first period in New York. They outplayed in the second, third, and first and second of Game 2.
Will you have 2 more trips to New York?
No.
Or will this be your final one?
No, I won't have another trip to Consol.
Just relax. Invisible Fence brand. Free consultation. Don't worry about your pets running away. Give them a call. Free in-home consultation.
That's what Lundqvist has around his net. He's got the invisible fence.